In this video, you'll learn why different ways of working must be embraced inside of every workplace. Quote, people often underestimate the importance of how different our views, perspectives, culture, and our experiences are, but they also underestimate the importance of leveraging those differences and cultural perspectives when driving a business, end quote, says Celeste Warren, VP of Human Resources and Global Diversity and Inclusion at Merck, during my recent interview with her. She continues, don't just tolerate diversity, but understand it and allow it to drive performance of the organization, end quote. An often underestimated and overlooked way that diversity and inclusion can drive performance is by supporting different ways of working. By nature, people are diverse, and diverse people have diverse work styles. Warren says the future of work is about taking risk and sponsoring different ways of working. Entertain different ways in which people are productive. This seems to be especially true across generations, end quote. Warren also provides this example. Quote, a Generation Xer might not need a lot of feedback and can be more independent in their work, while a millennial might desire more feedback and have a different style of working, end quote. The goal is to create diverse and inclusive work environments that enable teams to execute with the confidence of a baby boomer, the experience of a Gen Xer, the velocity of millennials, and with the fresh perspective of Generation Z. In order to effectively lead in today's fast-paced, highly diverse, and multi-generational workplace, leaders must understand and appreciate each generation's varying preferences of work environments and work styles. Quote, leaders must be more tolerant and understanding across generations because the different vehicles of HR, retaining, attracting, and developing employees, are different across generations. Don't expect others to work the same way as you work, end quote, says Warren. Align work styles and needs with work environments. Warren encourages inclusive leaders to ask themselves, quote, how can I meet people where they are so they can really be productive towards the mission of the organization, end quote. The needs of individuals, single parent, caring for elderly parents, disabled, etc., have to be considered when setting objectives. Warren says, we tell managers at Merck to set the objective and the timeline and then make the how individualized to the need of the individual, end quote. How are objectives assigned? How is feedback delivered? How is the individual allowed to work to achieve the objectives? How is the individual supported? Warren says, meet the next generation where they are. How are leaders creating an environment that enables millennials and future generations to be productive and not get stuck in the traditional ways of working, end quote. Learning and development is one of the many workplace dynamics that needs to be more inclusive. Training of the past is outdated. It needs to be integrated with how people learn and work, especially considering how different the emerging generations learn. Warren continues, quote, reevaluate your learning and development offerings not by what you're training, by how you're training, end quote. 21st century professionals have diverse work styles. Organizations must adapt. Click the link in the description to listen to my full interview with Celeste Warren.